Hello there, poor person who's 2 months overdue for their rent. These are the deadliest weapons that were typically used in wars during the medieval period that were definitely expensive, that even if you traveled back in time, you still wouldn't be able to afford it with the money you have now. Hello, I'd like to buy the Excalibur. Here's $100. What are you, a scammer? Kid, listen to me. You can't buy this with your money for 4 reasons. You're in the wrong country. This is the UK that's one. Benjamin Franklin won't be born in the next 200 or 300 years. Around this time, Christopher Columbus is still pillaging your native people of USA. 3. If you're not keeping track of what I'm saying, none of my items are worth that little, even if I convert your currency to mine. And 4. The Excalibur is not real. Go back to your time, buy some food from Uber Eats, and let me finish me timbers. Something like that? Katana. What? You think the medieval period is only for Europe? Do the other 5 continents with people living in it just simply not exist? Medieval period is the middle age of the world, baby. Deal with it. Anyway, the katana is sharp and scary, and sharp, also scary. This type of sword back then had several designs to it. Function and fashion was what the Japanese were all about back in the Kamakura period to about the Edo period. Curved katanas existed. The normie single-edged blade katanas existed. And the weird kid of the bunch, circular and square-shaped guards existed. It has a long grip if you're weak enough to use it with one hand or no hands. If you're Roronoa Zoro, though, it's still long enough that you can bite on the grip while you have one katana in each hand. Blacksmiths during that time made the katana with care, like how Italians made their violins. Shout out Antonio Stradivari. Let me show you how the Japanese blacksmiths used to do this. Cue medieval Japanese version of me. Hello, this is Swords Nippon. I create this using this metal called tamahagane, which literally means precious metal, and then I heat, I hammer, I fold, and fold, and fold, and do the folding a lot more times to have more than 1,000 layers. Strong metal good, strong metal deadly. Then I go coat this with clay, ash, and water. After that, there are many other things I do that I won't tell you because you'll steal my business from me. Anyway, here it is, katana. When you use the katana, it cuts. I mean, that's literally what I just said earlier. It's sharp and scary, so of course it cuts. But the cuts that we're dealing with here are not simple cuts, like when you get scratched by your cat or something. Nope. This cut is a lot way worse than that because of the style of the sword. Since it has a curve, your arm was there earlier. Now, well, it's not. It's that sharp. Samurais were the ones that mainly used these katanas back in my day. Samurais were basically that rich warriors for hire to defend someone's land, and it was used a lot by them. Like this one time. I want many power. You know power, want me, go you kill. The hell are you saying? We just want equality here because you're getting more and more powerful. Samurai, kill. And then they fought using katanas, stabs, and slice all around. And then they fought using the stab again, but this time it was less stab and slice.
I don't believe that's dangerous. I can take it. Hit me with your best shot.
I mean, I did get consent. Besides, it'll grow back in a minute. But hey, at least you know that in one slice, arteries and limbs can be cut off. Not suitable for children. I mean, you can't even afford these things, let alone children. Those $100 katanas on the internet today with weird designs on the blade, those ain't real katanas. Halberd. This weapon is freaking wild. It's an axe and a spear in one weapon. Halberd was used from the 14th to 17th century back in Europe, oftentimes in the battlefield, sometimes in a barbecue, rarely in a bar fight. This was normally used by soldiers and mercenaries. Must be expensive to only let these sorts of people to use, so again, you can't afford it. The Swiss were primarily the ones that used it, and they turned it into a trend that the German Landsknechts actually adopted the style, and adopted well at that. When the blacksmiths were making this, they made it from wood and steel that's taller than you at 1.5 to 2 meters. Shoot, I forgot. You're probably American, so let me translate that one for you. When the blacksmiths were making this, they made it from wood and steel that's taller than you at 4 feet 11 inches to 6 feet 6 inches. So it's taller than you, and you can't afford it. You really let an object be better than you while doing absolutely nothing? It has 3 parts. The spear point, which is the stabby, the axe blade for the wacky, and the hook for the pulley. The hook was mainly used to remove riders from their horses, and surprise, they're now in Odin's care.
Okay, my arms are back. What are you gonna do now? Hit me with that?
You really want that to happen?
What, you can't hit me because you're a wuss?
Dude, Elementary students use that language. Are you 9 years old? Well, here goes nothing. Dovahkiin, I guess. When the Swiss defeated the Burgundian army during the late 15th century, this was very much used, but it's not the only time halberd was utilized as the main weapon. When the Holy Roman Empire was crusading everywhere, shoving Jesus Christ into everyone's mouths, Italians didn't take any of it and just halberded everyone. Hey, we use that too. Yeah, you too. But who cares? It was really useful when the only ranged weapon being used was anything that shoots arrows and rocks. But when gunpowder was introduced later in history, halberd got nerfed. After all, who would want something that's really heavy if I could just blast bullets in your face? When that happened, halberd got a revamp, and it got smaller so it can be attached to guns. Pole flail. Not any flail, pole flail. From 11th to 15th century, the pole flail dominated Europe with its long stick and deadly tip. Sounds like something I also have, but here we are. Weird history about the flail. It was made from the farming flail the people back used to separate the edible part of the grain from the stem. Who even thought this can be weaponized? Let me answer myself on that one. So whenever farmers and their enemies got into a fight, they would be like, "This is my farm. You're not allowed to step on any of these lands." And they would start swinging the flail. Somebody realized that the flail was actually a good defensive weapon after that and just added something deadlier at the end, a spiked ball. Thus, the birth of a weapon that you can finally afford. When the Holy Roman Empire, again, tried to shove Jesus in the mouths of people, the Hussites in Bohemia said, "That's not our religion. Who are you to tell us what our religion should be?" And they started swinging the pole flails at the soldiers. When you're fighting against a pole flail, it's really hard to defend. It's swinging everywhere, possibly hitting you at the place you least expect it. Given the fact that you can't shield your entire body, it's bound to hit you, and it hurts like hell. Nobody cared if you had armor back then or not. It can still crack your helmet open, break your bones because it was basically a wrecking ball that anyone can carry. It also has freaking spikes. If your armor gets dented when hit with the pole flail, what makes you think you can tank it without one? Exactly. But of course, it's a double-edged sword. Or, in this case, a multi-edged ball. It can hurt you just as much as it can hurt your enemy if you're not strong enough and skillful enough to deal with it. Take Jimmy, for example. He has no idea how to use a pole flail properly and just starts swinging it around. The ball gets tangled to the chain connected to it, and he gets hit in the eye. Now he's crying to his mama. Though the use of the pole flail stopped when everything just got more advanced. The halberd earlier was way better than the pole flail. You just can't buy it. The armors got better too, so the attacks from a mini wrecking ball on chains hurt a lot less. And another thing is that the government back then actually improved that peasants didn't need to defend themselves. So why use a pole flail? Oh man! Well, back to farming it is. For some reason, every weapon I'm saying right now can be found in an Assassin's Creed game. Warhammer. Not the 40K version, the real deal. Jesus Christ. Can anything not be related to any game? So this is what the UK representation of Mjolnir was. I'll be damned. And this isn't like the halberd or the katana that can slice and cut you. Get hit with this on your head, and it's good night for real. It's really straightforward with how it's made. Chuck a metallic hammerhead bigger than your bank account. Wait, that bar's too low. Chuck a metallic hammerhead big enough for a family to stand onto the end of a stick and make sure it doesn't move. Boom. You got a warhammer. Spikes are optional if you want to destroy someone's armor before obliterating them to nothing. The stick can be long or short. I prefer the long because it has more impact and more oomph to it when you squish your enemy's head. Let me show you how effective this is. I have Hoopla with me right now. What are you doing with that halberd on your head?
Well, for your information, you did this to me.
Whatever. So Hoopla is gonna put some armor on so he doesn't get hurt.
I didn't sign up for this.
Shut up! You're doing this and you're gonna like it. So watch me smash his helmet. So Hoopla right now is just knocked out. Nothing wrong with him. But the point is, it doesn't matter if you're wearing an armor or not. A warhammer is going to be a warrior's fastest journey to being a body count. In fact, this was used in the 100 Years' War when England versus France happened. We have you outnumbered. Surrender or die. We brought soldiers. You have a girl who thinks she's powered up by some holy spirit. And we also have this, so come here, baguette boys. When the wars went on and some things advanced, the warhammer actually kept up with it. The handles got longer, and it has designs now to let your enemy know if you're either rich, poor, or zesty. Urumi. Well, it's India time, people. So an urumi, or chutaval, came from Kerala in India and was used by these people.
Why aren't you saying it? It's not like it's hard.
Why aren't you alive? And I don't want to say it because people in the comments are going to be like, you said it like kalaripayatu, and not how they say it. You'll probably be alive on the next one or whatever. Just get good. Anyway, that 6-syllable name that I didn't want to mention was a martial art that focused on agility, precision, and body mechanics. That's why the warriors got to use the urumi, because it's a sword and a whip. If you don't believe me, it looks like this. This thing is made of a long, thin, and flexible blade created using carbon steel. People were this advanced back then? Damn. The sword's blade was rolled so it's easier to put in the pocket when it's not being used, unlike holstering it in a sheath. The blades are reaching 5 feet with how much they can reach, some even go longer depending on how you like your urumi. And since it's long and whip-like, it can attack multiple targets at once and wrap around a shield or weapon. I don't have Hoopla with me now, but his ghost is here, so I'll show you how it's done.
Dude, seriously? How about no?
Well, you're already here, so my urumi's coiled right now. But if I whip it like that, and then I pull it, you'll see that the amount of damage I gave is more than just pulling Hoopla. It slashed his arms, and now his ghost is bleeding so much. But urumi wasn't commonly used in big battles and wars because it's something that won't be effective in that scale. So it was commonly used in one-on-ones, self-defense, and exhibitions. Even though it was used for shows, it's still gonna kill you if you're daring enough to try tanking it. Teko Kagi. This is your go-to medieval weapon if you want to be Wolverine. It's a claw, like legit claws that you can use in 1v1s during the feudal/medieval era of Japan. But it's again expensive, you can't buy it. These were made from iron or steel because, well, what things can kill you back then apart from steel? Some of them were made with 3 claws, but if you want the Battle Pass version of it, you'll get the 5 claws. Ninjas used it more often than most people in Japan. Samurais don't want none of that. They wanted to be all cool and honorable and loyal, which by the way is called Bushido, so they get the katana. The Tekokage was for the hidden ones. The ninjas were great at that, being hidden. Now how do I say this? The claws were very damn effective in terms of damage that it did back in the day. It can deal more than a cat's scratch as the claws, once used on you, will bury itself in your skin and drag itself to however way and wherever the ninja decides to drag it. You'd have that scratch like Bruce Lee had in Enter the Dragon, which I hope you've watched even in the middle of Skibidi Toilet, being super popular. If that open flesh of yours from the scratch wasn't treated immediately, you're as good as dead. Japan wasn't medically advanced back then, so yeah, dead. Apart from that, it's used to climb on walls and trees fast so the ninjas don't get seen. Take that, Naruto! Trebuchet. This weapon was not what a single person used, but a big group of soldiers. You can't buy this because it's expensive, and besides, what the hell are you gonna use a trebuchet for in today's time? There are freaking missiles today. It's made mainly of wood, and it was a LARGE large contraption that's basically a slingshot made for ending a whole battalion or Goliath. You load it with a big rock, or many small rocks however you want to load it, and then some genius engineering will shoot the rock/rocks to the sky, and if it hits the mark, congrats, you ended the Siege of Acre. If killing people as a soldier during the medieval times wasn't your thing, the trebuchet also had another use. Sir, we really need to evacuate and bug out of the building. We have so many troops that are injured and dead. No, we will stand here and fight these people. Hi, I'm a boulder, and I'm going kamikaze. Oh, and would you look at that? Everyone just ran away. Another instance that this big boy was used was in the sack of Constantinople, where trebuchets blew the hell out of the Byzantine Empire's defenses. But even if it was a deadly weapon back in the day, oopsies happen and some miscalculations happened, which ended in friendly fire, or letting your opponent know that you're attacking. Byzantine flamethrower, also known as Greek fire. I think this was the origins of the flamethrower that we have today. From the name, it's obvious that it was developed by the Byzantine Empire in the 7th century. And it seems that the Byzantine Empire loved their secrets because I have no clue what the hell the Greek fire was made of. I assume it was like a mixture of quicklime, sulfur, and napalm. Now that was damn scary if you encountered that in the battlefield during the medieval period. When it was used, it was put inside a siphon, like this high-pressure hole inside defensive walls, so when armies get close to the wall, a barbecue will happen. Not really a barbecue, because the flamethrower's so hot that their bodies would be charred if they didn't know how to stop, drop, and roll. The Byzantine flamethrower was oftentimes used in sea wars for burning down ships. Ships were made of wood during those times, so fire's a critical damage. Holy cow, Byzantines were smart. Get this, during sack of Constantinople in 717 AD, that's Istanbul in Turkey today, if you don't know anything about geography, the capital of the empire was attacked by the Umayyad Caliphate, the first Muslim dynasty, and they used the flamethrower to destroy the ships and made the Umayyad retreat. Istanbul was still theirs. Chiang. Why does it sound like a TikTok trend but it's not? So I want you to pretend like you're a medieval Chinese warrior, gearing up for a battle that could make or break your dynasty. Your weapon of choice? The Chiang. This thing is the Swiss Army knife of spears, and it's here to mess up anyone's day. The Chiang is a long spear, usually about 9 to 15 feet long. It's freaking longer than a pickup truck, and you have it as your weapon. Be freaking grateful. This baby's got a wooden shaft, often made from tough woods like oak or ash, making it lightweight but super strong. Perfect for when you need to go all Jackie Chan on your enemies. And at the end of this stick is a shiny, leaf-shaped steel blade. The leaf can slice through armor. What the hell? Elite soldiers of the Song and Ming dynasties were the ones that typically used the Chiang. These guys were the medieval equivalents of Marvel superheroes. They used the Chiang in wars that shaped history, like the defensive campaigns against the Khitan and Jurchen invasions. It was deadly for two reasons. First off, the length. This spear could keep enemies at a distance, making it the perfect weapon for anyone who likes their personal space. And let's be real, who doesn't? Trying to get close to a Chiang-wielding warrior was like trying to hug a cactus. Not gonna happen. Plus, the blade was made of high-quality steel, sharp enough to turn a knight's armor into Swiss cheese. Another thing is that skilled warriors could use it for sweeping, blocking, and even parrying. The shaft was designed to be maneuverable, so warriors could twirl it around like a deadly baton, delivering fast and precise strikes. A well-aimed thrust could break your heart into two pieces, which is worse than a romantic heartbreak, cause this one legit breaks your heart. Even a glancing blow could leave deep gashes or break bones. Soldiers on horses also have this. Just the tinier version, cause jousting wasn't the field of expertise of the Chinese back then. 'Twas for the Europeans. Zweihander. And now you're a German killer for hire. Mr. Worldwide, I see. What's your name again? Pitbull? Then why the heck are you poor? Anyway, a Zweihander was sword and a sword. This beast of a weapon, typically measuring between 5 and 6 feet long, was the favorite weapon of the 16th century Landsknechte. It means a foot soldier whose job was simple: be the frontline wrecking crew. They'd lead the charge with their Zweihanders, hacking through enemy pikes and don't give a damn if they kill or get killed. You're welcome for learning something new today, if you didn't know what that was. Made entirely of steel, this two-handed sword was the medieval equivalent of a tank, designed to break through enemy lines like a hot knife through butter. The Zweihander was used in battles like the Italian Wars. These swordsmen would swing their Zweihanders to clear a path through tightly packed infantry formations. One good swing, and the army is cut in half, either lengthwise or crosswise. Pick your poison. What makes it deadly is its sheer size and weight. We're talking about a sword that could weigh up to 8 pounds. Sure, that might not sound like much, but try swinging it around for hours while dodging arrows and pikes. CrossFit. The blade was broad and double-edged, perfect for both cutting and thrusting. The crossguard often featured side rings and a parrying hook, making it not just a weapon but also a defensive tool to block and control enemy weapons. A swing from a Zweihander could shatter bones, cleave through armor, and I'm not going to do it to Hoopla anymore because he's been through a lot in this video. He's probably Kenny McCormick's cousin, if you know what I mean. Hunga Munga.
Don't you freaking dare.
Oh hey, you're alive again. Nice. But don't dare to what? Just don't you freaking dare. What? Oh, I see. No, I won't, don't worry. They either got the joke already, or not. Either way, I won't say it. We just gotta celebrate our differences. The Hunga Munga, also known as the Mambele or Kapinga, is a traditional African weapon that was used in the medieval times by the Azande, Mangbetu, and the Ngbaka tribes. It's a sword, and another sword, plus one more sword, probably some more swords all in one. Are you not scared yet? Other than it being used in wars, the Hunga Munga was also used to hunt. I mean, with so many blades in one stick, there ain't no shot that you're not gonna use this to kill your dinner for tonight. Oh, you a tasty-looking deer. You're my family's supper. You have a farmer's sickle. That ain't doing anything. Excuse me, sir, but I can't slice you 5 times in one slice. Try me. Oh, nice. It's already plated after I kill it. Another way to use this bad boy over here is by throwing it. If you're gonna throw something, you better go big, and the Hunga Munga is bigger in terms of damage since it can legitimately make your shield like a plushie and cut your muscles as if it was a sheet of paper. So it's a good thing you can't afford this, and you're probably not legally allowed to buy this anymore. Oh, you're back to your own time. Welcome back, poor person. How's it feel getting called poor in 2 eras at least 500